With just a single impeller spinning at high speed, liquid can be continuously transported outward. This is how a centrifugal pump works. In fact, the core of a centrifugal pump relies entirely on that rapidly rotating impeller. Don't be fooled by its simplicity. It's just a circular disc with a few curved blades. Once it starts spinning, the liquid is flung outward at incredible speed. Surrounding the impeller is a pump casing shaped like a snail shell. The inlet sits lower than the outlet, and the casing gradually widens toward the outside. This design converts velocity into pressure. When the motor starts, the impeller begins spinning violently, dragging the surrounding water with it and throwing it toward the outer edge. As the water is flung outward, a low pressure zone immediately forms at the center of the impeller, what we commonly call negative pressure. This negative pressure continuously pulls new water in. The water is pushed along the blades toward the outer edge and finally pins out through the outlet. The entire process involves no pistons at all. It relies purely on two actions, throwing the liquid outward and pulling new liquid inward to keep the flow circulating. That is the core logic of a centrifugal pump. So why do people often say that a centrifugal pump won't work without water? Because its ability to draw in liquid doesn't exist automatically. If the pump casing is full of air at the start, no matter how fast the impeller spins, air is too light to be flung outward. Without that, negative pressure cannot form, and the pump will just spin empty, unable to draw up a single drop of water. That's why the pump must be filled with water before startup, so there's something it can actually throw. Centrifugal pumps also face a dangerous phenomenon known as cavitation. If the inlet pressure is too low and the water is flung outward too quickly, the pressure at the center of the impeller can drop below the vapor pressure of water. When that happens, the water literally begins to boil, forming countless tiny bubbles. These bubbles travel into high pressure zones and instantly collapse, blasting the surface of the impeller little by little into a pitted, honeycomb-like texture. The higher the suction height, the more likely cavitation is to occur. That's why preventing cavitation is a critical concern when designing centrifugal pumps. Even so, centrifugal pumps remain the most popular pumping devices. They are used almost everywhere: cooling systems, water treatment plants, fire pump stations, air conditioning circulation, wastewater treatment, chemical transport, and more. With this simple mechanism alone, they can steadily move several tons, dozens of tons, or even hundreds of tons of liquid. Isn't that more impressive than you imagined?